Here's one of the ironies, Jenna. We've taken all of our tanks out of Europe. Every single one of the U.S. tanks are gone, and he's unveiling a brand new tank tomorrow.
Well, you led us to something, and we saw this tank, actually, General Keane. I wanted to ask you about this. This tank is on display. It's supposed to have great technology, and it's a little bit of a viral hit right now because during a parade, this particular tank suddenly stalls for 15 minutes, and the Russian military can't get it up and running. But I wanted to ask you about it because besides the stalling, which is a little bit ironic, there are some Western military experts who say that this tank surpasses the versions of the West. And you see the investment being made in this sort of warfare, this sort of equipment. And, you know, one wonders why.
Well, Putin, no doubt, is pouring significant sums of money into his defense budget. While he is increasing his defense budget by 30%, we're going exactly the opposite direction with similar numbers. And we're certainly taking the land forces. They've been almost reduced to nothing in Europe. And as I said, all of our tanks are out of it. This tank here that you had up on the screen there, it's an evolutionary development over the T-90, which was their last tank. Now, listen, the Russians do tanks pretty well. What they don't do is that they've never been very comfortable for the people who have to fight in them, and their survivability is not as good as ours. But this tank has got some new concepts. That turret that you see on there where the main gun is, there's no people in it. And they're set off in a cockpit in front of it, very well protected, so it's remotely controlled. And that is a conceptual improvement over all tanks. It's going to shoot about the same range as ours. I think ours classified probably goes a little longer. We can't talk about just how far it goes. They both shoot very well at night. It remains to be seen how reliable this tank is. Russian maintenance and reliability nearly not as good as ours. Survivability seems to be improved. They don't worry about survivability and reliability as much as we do because they fight in mass and they're willing to take casualties that are unacceptable to us.
Well, certainly they've been willing to take casualties along the border with Ukraine, and you see those flimsy fences that Ukraine is putting up around its borders, and you see a tank like that, and you realize perhaps the match is not